Good morning, developers. If you are new to the channel, my name is Rob, and it is Algorithm Monday. We do these so that we can stay sharp with our problem-solving skills. Today is actually a kind of a nice use case you might run into, depending on what industry you're in. But we have a bunch of credit card patterns, and if you want to find your own, these happen to be common ones in the United States. But the credit card companies follow a very specific pattern for their account numbers. So the number on the card for a Visa always starts with the number 4 and then has a total of either 13 or 16 digits, never anything in between, never 14 or 15. MasterCard starts with 5 digits and has a total of 16. That's easy. Discover is the same. It just starts with 16 and has 16 digits. An Amex card starts with 3 and then has 4 or 7 as its second digit with a total of 15 digits. So we've got kind of a little bit of variance here. I would like you to solve this using regular expressions. This is kind of a recent topic for me, and I've got a set of sample data in the description that you can copy and use. And I'm not going to pseudocode the whole thing here with you. We'll go and just code it out, but just a couple quick notes as things that you might want to remember if you're still new to regular expressions. \d is a digit, okay? So that's an important one because that's mostly what we're working with. If you use brackets, whatever number you put in the brackets, it will expect that the previous token to repeat that many times. So, as for instance, if you have \d and then in brackets the number 3, it would expect 3 consecutive digits. Okay. If you start with the up arrow, the caret, and I'll put here, we'll put the number 3. That would mean I expect the regular expression to start with a 3 at the beginning of the string or the beginning of the line. So the up arrow here is the key, starts with. And then if I have, we'll do $4, that means that I expect the string to end with the number 4, no exceptions. Right after 4 is either the termination or it'll be a new line. And then likewise, you can use a pipe. So we'll have 3 pipe 4. That means 3 or 4. So you can have multiple options in order to be able to find a given match. And then if you have something a little more complicated, internal, you can put parentheses around it. Is usually how I do it anytime I have an or. Otherwise, I get confused about how it's actually going to be evaluated. But this would mean 3 or 4, and then you could have stuff on either side. Okay? I'm going to do this in JavaScript. You can do it in Python. Whatever programming language you want is fine because pretty much everything implements regular expressions. The regexes should be the same across the board. It's just the implementation is going to be a little bit different. Okay? So again, give this a try on your own, and maybe that means go to take the data that I gave you and put it in just a website like a regex website that will evaluate it and hone it down to where you get the correct match, and then you can implement it in your respective language. But these are going to be useful. At least this is how I'm going to do it. Regular expressions have so much power. There's a good chance you'll be able to find other patterns to solve your particular problem, but try and do it succinctly, and I will see you over the code editor. Let's go do it. I am over to VS Code. Use whatever code editor you prefer. I've got a file called creditcardvalidator.js, and the final version of this file will be in the description. It'll be a GitHub link, but you can grab anything you need there. I'm going to run this with Node.js, so hopping over to the terminal, I'm going to do it like that. If you're more comfortable with browser JavaScript, please use that. And there's nothing wrong with an HTML file and some script tags. But up at the top, I've got the rules. We talked about these on the board. Amex starts with a 3, followed by a 4 or 7, and has 15 total digits. So you've got that there for reference. I defined an array called cards, and we are going to take cards, and down at the bottom here, cards.forEach, we pass it this callback, and the card number itself that we're supposed to test will come through in CC number. I did not write unit tests. If there's a crazy high request for that, I will write unit tests for you, but instead I'll copy this and put it in the description. I have that this is a bad Amex. Now, strictly speaking, it isn't a bad Amex. It's just a bad credit card. It starts with a 3, though, and so it's kind of pretending to be an American Express card. But towards the bottom, I just started putting bad. These are bad Discover cards, sort of. Again, they're really just bad bad numbers. But that is pretty much it. If you need anything, please, again, check the GitHub link or the description for the array here. But let's start off with Visa, and I'm going to grab the credit card number. Actually, real quick, just so that you can see it coming through, let's just log it quick. So again, we're sending this call back to our for each. If we come over here and run our code, we get all of the numbers as they come through. Okay, so again, our job is pretty straightforward. There are a few red herrings, which we will get to. So I'm going to do if ccnumber.match. You can use a couple different regular expression methods. I would love to see other ways that you approach this. If you do things differently, that's always fun. But again, the task is pretty simple, so you don't need to be overly complex whatever you do. The first thing I'm going to do is just check to see if this is a Visa card. And Visas start with a number 4, and they are followed by a series of digits, and we are looking for, well, let's try this. Come back up to the top here. We need 12 more digits, right? The 4 is the first digit, so we need 12 more, or we need 15 more. So let's throw that in here. We'll do 12, comma, 15. And if that's true, let's console.log. We'll do cc number is a valid Visa card. Okay, let's try that. We'll run our code. And we have a bunch of wrong answers. Up top here, first of all, this says it's a valid Visa card. It's not. It starts with a 3. But a regular expression doesn't care what it starts with. It starts with a 3, but the regular expression hit the 4 here, and then it ran out a certain number of digits. Well, this is the wrong number of digits. If I copy this and I paste it in, and I shrunk down a little bit so you could see down here, this has 14 digits in it. And our expression is willing to take 12 to 15, so it's fine that it only has it's fine that it has 14, even though that's not actually okay. This starts with a 3 and doesn't have the right number of digits. This has way too many digits, and so on. Okay, so the first thing, let's get rid of all these that have that don't have a 4 at the beginning, and that is easy enough. If we put a caret at the beginning like that, that will say the number has to start with a 4. Come back over here and run it again. And there we go. We got rid of at least that junk. Okay, so let's copy these over and bring them over and continue to work on our expression. So this one has 17 digits total. So what's going on there? Because we said 12 to 15. Well, it does have 12 to 15. If we keep going, it hits 12 here, 13, 14, 15. That's the end of the pattern. Now, there happen to be 2 more characters there, but that doesn't matter to match. Match just knows that it found a match right here. So we need to stop when it gets here, which means we're going to need some means of terminating it. This one has 15 characters, so that satisfies, well, it starts with a 4, and then it's followed by another 14 characters, which is in our range. So we're going to have to fix that too. This one has 13 characters, which for our Visa is valid. So that's the first one that actually is okay. This one ends with an A, and that shouldn't be okay. So let's handle these. In fact, let's make a couple notes here quick. For our Visa, we need to make sure that we start with a 4. We use the up arrow like that. Okay. Next thing, we need to make sure we have exactly 12 or 15 digits after the 4, or we do not have a match. Okay, that means we're going to have to change this from a range to an or statement, and we're also going to have to use, so I guess we'll put in there, use an or, which is a pipe, and use a $, meaning we need it to end that way. Because if we do this, I'm going to put a curly brace there, and I'm going to wrap around this like so. Give me just a second to clean this up here. We're going to have a pipe in there /D. So what we've got here is, this is our or statement, those parentheses, either 12 digits or 15 digits. Those are the only 2 options. So follow our 4 with 12 digits or 15 digits, but that's not going to be enough, because if we come over here and run it again, This is that same thing we had before. If we copy that and drop it in, this is 17 digits long. And our Visa card should only be 13 or 16, but not 17. Well, again, this satisfies our pattern. It is followed by 15. It's also followed by 12, like that. We need to make sure that that is the end of our statement. So at the end here, we can drop in a $sign, and that will tell it, hey, it needs to end with either 12 or 15. And if we come back over, run our code again, there we go. We get a 4 at the beginning followed by 13, and we have a 4 at the beginning followed by 15. Let's double check to make sure. There we go. That is our list of valid Visa cards in our list. Okay, we'll throw in here an else if, and this is going to handle our MasterCard. So we're going to do CC number dot match. Okay, let's come back up to the top here, take a look. MasterCard starts with 5 and has 16 digits. This is pretty easy. There's not a ton to think about here. We're going to have our 2 slashes. We're going to expect a 5, and we are going to expect that it is followed by a digit. How many digits? Well, we need 15 digits to follow it. And once again, we're going to throw that $sign at the end to make sure that we don't pick up any red herrings. Let's throw in here a console.log. CC number is a valid MasterCard. So let's run our code again and see what we get there. We got another red herring. We got our 5 right there, but we didn't check to see if it begins with a 5. So we need to come back over here and throw at the beginning, just like our Visa card. Put our caret in there, run it again. There we go. This is the only valid MasterCard. Starts with 5. Let's paste it in there. And it is 16 digits, which is correct. Let's come up here, make sure that we've got what we need. There's our valid. Yep. And everything else is bad. This one starts with a 1 and then a 5 and then has some good data in there. Okay, so pretty easy there. Else if CC number dot match. This one is going to be our Amex, and we're gonna look for. Come up to the top. It needs to start with a 3 followed by a 4 or a 7. So let's just cut that off. This time we'll have an up arrow. It's got to start with 3, and then it's going to be followed by either a 4 or a 7. So this will guarantee that we've got 3 4 or 3 7. Let's go ahead and see what that gets us. CC number is a valid Amex. Save it. Run our code. Okay, so these have the different number of digits, so they definitely can't both be true, but we are in good shape there because we got 3 4 3 4 and 3 7. So to follow that up, all Amex cards have 15 digits in them. Well, we've already got 2, so we need to follow this with a \D. We need 13 more digits, and I'm going to throw that $sign at the end again to say that this needs to start with a 3 and it needs to end with 13 digits. We run it again. We have 2 valid Amex cards there at the top. Alrighty. Else if CC number dot match, open close, put our slashes in there, and this is going to be our Discover card. And if we come back up to the top here, Discover card, kind of like MasterCard, really simple. Starts with a 6 and has 16 digits in it. In fact, I'm going to just copy our regular expression here, paste it in. We just need to change this to a 6, and we are in good shape because other than I've got an extra parentheses there, that will do the trick because they have the same rule. They just start with a slightly different number. So like that, come back up and run our code, and we have 1 valid Discover card, which is 6011, and then has a bunch of zeros. That's bad, which is good because it has the S in there. Another bad one with an R. This is our good Discover card, and so on up the list. Okay, so that does it for this code challenge, at least the way I'm going to do it. I would enjoy seeing how you did it, or any additions that you want to put in, or any other notes, because these are fairly generic. I think there are a lot more rules than this, but this is a good starting point. We only really needed a couple things, as I mentioned on the board. We needed the caret here in order to say that it starts with, because a lot of the test data had junk in it. we needed, in this case, the Visa was trickiest because it has a variable number of digits. We needed that or, and in all cases, we needed to make sure that it ends with that particular number. Now, the reason that this works is because these are all individual; they're by themselves. If you're working like on a long string of text, you wouldn't be able to use the $sign because that's going to expect a new line or a line termination of some kind. There are other ways to write that, and I will leave that to you if you want to play with it. But we're pulling out just the number on, in each case as it comes through, and so we're able to use the $sign to guarantee termination. But those three things are kind of what we needed in each case. We needed the up arrow, we needed \d for digits. We're looking for a certain number of them, and in this case, the or, and then we always wanted to end that way. And all four of them pretty much follow that same pattern. Okay, that does it for this Algorithm Monday. Again, let me know what cool solutions or questions you've got, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.